Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this ambush stream. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I had some nascent plans for this evening, but they fell through for reasons uncontrollable. And so I find myself with a little extra time and mental bandwidth or otherwise to, I guess, do this. But how are y'all doing this evening? How y'all doing? And who's here so far? If anybody else shows up. Funtime Bats, Mike R, Cunt to Hair, Tall Person, Jordan Herbert, Seftus Wolf, Noah Essential Angel vs. Blakester, Ercole Di Stefano, Shortline 819, Spoonie the Rebel. Good evening. Yes, here I am, raucous like a hurricane. So yeah, there's no plan to this. I mean, I guess there's a plan because I have a video prepped and the title alludes to the video. So I guess there was a kind of plan. I don't know how long I'll go for, but we'll see how bored I get and how quickly, I suppose. Oh my gosh, Derek LaRue, good evening. And before, come on, StreamYard, you can do it. You can catch up. StreamYard's having a moment here. Derek LaRue, thank you so much, as always. And good evening for your generosity and support. I hope this surprise stream meets your benevolence. Thank you so much, Derek. Nathan Willie and Seftus Wolf. What's this? I saw an appeals court told some oil businesses can't use a rail line to expand their business. I am pissed at the government all over again. Well, I'm just going to hazard a guess here. Hazard being the operative word. Was this at all in response to recent train mishaps and chemical spills and things in different places? By any chance, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of decisions in the last day or so that are kind of questionable in both, I guess, rail lines. Hadn't heard that one, but also Twitter, also warning sirens in Hawaii. Just a lot of, I don't know, a lot of strange things going on, but then this is the world we live in. Who else is here? Texas Attorney General Secret Agent Miranda Stone. Good evening. William Stenchever. Well, now there's a name I haven't read in a long time. How you doing, William? And yeah, so anyway, what do we have here? Well, you may recall in recent history, as in like I think last Sunday, I looked at a little interview thing from HP in an experiment to find out if we could distinguish between a aspirational diversity goal and a quota. And it wasn't really that hard of an assignment, I don't think. But in the course of trying to find that video, I also did find other videos of companies or organizations that I thought were on the Fortune 100, because that was part of the experiment, but were not. And this is one of them. This is from Moody's. You know, the what is it? The investment scoring firm or whatever they are. In my mind, I don't know exactly what Moody's does, but I think they're a ratings agency or whatever for stocks and things and stuff and things. And for some reason, I thought they were on the Fortune 100. They sound like the kind of company that might be, but they weren't, or at least not for 2023. And so I just kind of set this one aside. But like I say, my plans for this evening fell through, and I was thinking, what should I do? What should I do? Why not? We got 14 minutes of, I'm sure, will be enlightening goodness. And also, as I feel kind of charged by this now, another opportunity to chronicle, in case it becomes necessary for future reference, a major American company touting their diversity programs and things on the off chance this gets scrubbed from existence at some point in the future for, you know, trying to protect anybody's legal liabilities. And also, everybody along the southern-ish California area, I don't know what Hillary's going to do to you, but you know, keep your bumbershoot and galoshes ready. You never know. Anyway, so let's get into it. Yeah, 14 minutes promotional video from a big corporation. I have no idea what they're going to say, but I could probably guess. And let's just all take a moment and absorb the whatever this is. Kiever Dam, you're not late. You're exactly when you should be here. Don't worry about it. It'll be silent for a second because I took out a musical cue. Moody's Investor Day 2022, decode risk, unlock opportunity. Okay, and by the way, this was posted March of last year. So yeah, like I said, I was looking for things within a year's time to avoid the affirmative action hubbub. Keldrig, good evening, and Miranda Stone. This is too easy. I am ready to absorb, or am ready to absorb. Now that is going to be quite a feat for Miranda Stone. Jose Chacon, hello. Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
To fuel an exciting growth story like the one we're writing at Moody's, the most important ingredient is people.
That sounds cannibalistic.
Their talent, passion, and energy are key to advancing our strategy.
Wow, that's an amazing array of stock footage you have there.
And unlocking the full potential of our company.
Ah, okay. Before I move on, come on, StreamYard, you can catch up here. Thank you, Keeverdam. Fundraisers are. Oh yes, sorry, apologies. I should have known that would be your immediate action. Everybody, if you haven't already seen them, because I just saw them myself, at the top of the chat box you will find the fundraisers for our friends Maddie, Lisa, Moonshock, and Angry Illinoisian. Various reasons, various circumstances. They could use some help if you have a couple of bucks to spare. If you can't donate, that's perfectly fine. If you can share those out on social media, that would be very much appreciated. Also, Marta is watching. Good evening, Chicago Mike. Good evening, Corey Suzuki. Good evening. Yes, we're going to be looking at Moody's. You missed the first 5 minutes. Yeah, you only missed 5 minutes. Yeah, you didn't miss much. All right.
To help us attract the people with the skills we need to support our customers and grow our business.
The skills you need. Okay.
We're committed to being a great place to work and an employer of choice.
An employer of choice. Who gets to make the choice?
A vital part of that is creating an inclusive workplace.
Oh, okay.
A workplace where diverse top talent can thrive.
What qualifies someone as being diverse versus not diverse? Will they say? All right, how long are we going to wait? How long do we have to go until we have either explicitly a racial demographic mentioned, or more importantly, numbers? Will we see percentages? That's really the big question. And will we have those percentages classified as goals, or we still have a lot of work to do, or something?
And feel welcome to bring all of who they are to work.
Their whole self.
We're excited to be with you today to share our commitment to advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion to fuel the next chapter of our growth story.
Well, I'm excited to join you as you join yourself in advancing it.
And differentiate our company as that story continues to build momentum.
Oh, okay.
One of the ways we empower our employees and enhance the value of their collective work.
Collective, yes.
Is through our global commitments and actions around DE&I.
Tell me you're doing ERGs. This video's long enough. Your company's large enough. Please tell me you've got ERGs, and tell me that one of them is for veterans. My fingers are crossed.
Numerous studies have shown that with a diverse, equitable, and inclusive workforce, you get richer discussions, well-rounded opinions, and better insights.
Oh, right, because there is a quality of thinking associated with whatever diverse means in this context.
These attributes also lead to higher retention, a greater sense of employee well-being, and deeper connections with clients.
Well, then why are all the big companies in the recent months, and I realize that Moody's at this point couldn't know this because this was March of 2022, why were they all like cutting their budgets and laying off their chief diversity officers? I mean, if simply having a DEI program results in such amazing outcomes, you'd think you'd never stop funding it.
We believe it's important that our employees reflect the diverse communities, customers, and stakeholders we serve.
And how do you measure that reflection?
We welcome and nurture diverse ideas, perspectives, and experiences as they help to contribute insights and expertise that help make Moody's a best-in-class integrated risk assessment company.
Okay, if you were actually talking and only cared about diversity of thought and skill set and so on and so forth, I'm going to have nothing to say during this. So, you know, in my very cynical, very sardonic way, but all the same, I honestly hope, though I have very little of it in this case, I honestly hope you actually mean what you just said, full stop. I got's a feeling, though.
A company equipped to deliver services and opinions that inspire trust in everyone, everywhere.
You can't please all the people all of the time.
DE&I is in our DNA, and it's something we take very seriously.
Oh, yes. No, DNA is very important to DEI. I rest assured I understand the importance of DNA in DEI.
We don't just see it as the right thing to do.
Oh.
For a company that's built for resilience and growth and positioned to succeed now and in the future,
yes,
it's the right way to do business.
I see. Okay, so the profit motive still remains regardless of the moral imperative, right? Okay, I mean, I can appreciate the pragmatism.
DE&I has always been an integral part of our culture.
Always? Okay, so when was Moody's founded? And when was DEI first mentioned in any kind of like official press releases or prospectuses or company literature or anything? I mean, I'll take your word for it. Moody's has been around since what, like 1923 or something? I'm guessing. I think it's been around forever, hasn't it? Okay.
In order to match our intentions with measurable action.
Yes. What kind of measurements are you doing?
And demonstrate our commitment to change. We took the important step in 2021 to publish specific DE&I goals.
Oh boy! Yes, tell me about your specific DE&I goals, and do they consist of at least two particular elements, that being specified racial and or gender demographics, and two, percentages. Oh.
The full support and priority our leaders place on making Moody's a diverse, equitable, and an inclusive company are made incredibly clear by our willingness to stand up and be accountable.
Great. I am very glad that you are willing to stand up and be accountable. And in that accounting, what kind of metrics are you employing?
Which we hope encourages other companies to do the same.
Yeah, you're a role model.
In this regard, we've set 3 goals to enhance and advance our DE&I strategy.
Oh boy, here we go, guys. Here it comes. Are you guys ready? I'm on the. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna literally get on the edge of my seat. This is gonna be terrible for my back, but I'm on the edge of my seat. All right. What are your three big goals? All right, here we go. Okay.
First,
yes,
we aim to have a 50% minimum representation of women globally across our entry-level programs.
Oh, goody! Yes! We have gender demographic and a specific minimum goal. Minimum goal. Now, do you think that that is an aspirational concept? Or is that a quota?
Second, we aim to have 30% increase in the number of U.S. Black and Latinx leaders at senior levels by 2025.
Oh, golly, and a timeline on this one, too. Oh, boy. Okay, well, that's 2 for 2. 2 quotas out of 3 goals. All right, you got You got one more for me? You got one more potentially legal breaking declaration as a employer in the United States?
As compared to 2020.
Oh, okay.
And third,
yeah.
by 2025, we aim to have 8% more women at officer levels as compared to 2020.
Well, there you go. We have the hat trick. 3 for 3. 3 items, 3 goals that sound very similar to quotas. The one thing you are decidedly not allowed to employ as a business under Title VII, even with all the other Supreme Court decisions or case law or everything else, the one thing that always remains true throughout all of it, quotas are not allowed. And okay, so not only HP last week, but apparently my detective's nose was sniffing out. Same thing with Moody's. And we still got 10 minutes of this sucker. Who knows what else they'll tell us?
These goals are groundbreaking for our company and within our industry. They state very clearly that DE&I is a strategic objective for Moody's.
I am glad you are being so clear about that. I really, really am. I'm glad that there is no ambiguity to your declarations here. I really do hope that these groundbreaking goals of yours stand the test of time, and I'm here to chronicle them.
And because of this, the entire leadership team and all people managers are accountable for helping achieve DE&I goals and objectives.
They are accountable for helping to achieve. Okay, so not only do you have stated demographic percentage aspirations, but also the employees are charged with being accountable for reaching them. Okay, again, as everybody here knows, but just in case someone's listening in the future, I am not a lawyer. I am not a legal expert. I'm not a civil rights attorney or anything else. But I got to tell you, as a layman, it's very difficult for me to see how anybody could objectively look at these statements and not say that Moody's is stating specific quotas around hiring on the basis of elements that are illegal to do so under Title VII of 1964 Civil Rights Act. That's all I'm saying. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some kind of loophole. Maybe there's some kind of weird legal gray area here, but I'm not seeing it.
So how will we achieve these goals?
Well, I can think of one particular mechanism, but let's see. What would you say? The legally safest bet is outreach. So, recruiting and sort of advertising your company's job opportunities at, say, historically Black colleges and universities, or maybe through some kind of women's program or something like that. I mean, that is technically one of the more legally safe options in trying to, quote unquote, diversify your talent pool. Beyond that, I don't know. I can think of a couple of things that are even more blatantly illegal, but what do you say?
How will we attract, develop, and retain new diverse talent?
I don't know.
Specifically, how will we enhance the experiences of existing diverse talent?
I one of these days, someday, I would love to have someone ask, or have the opportunity to ask, and really get an answer from someone in one of these positions as a chief diversity officer. And I said it before, and I will say it until the end of time. Please describe for me a non-diverse candidate. What does a non-diverse candidate look like?
How will we work to help our diverse employees have meaningful experiences and development opportunities?
I don't know.
We are being thoughtful in addressing these questions.
I'm glad. Please tell me what you are doing to address them.
To start, we're integrating DE&I into everything we do.
Like going to the bathroom?
We're putting new measures in place and developing and enhancing existing programs.
Like and such as and how?
To support our goals. These measures and programs are being implemented and deployed globally.
What?
Let's dive into a few examples.
Okay, all right. I love examples. Give me an example.
That highlight our DE&I commitments.
Okay.
That will help enable our workplace strategy.
All right.
To support gender parity, we've expanded our Women's Leadership Development Program.
Okay, so you've got a leadership program that is gender specific in order to reach gender parity, which is a quota. All right. Okay, all right.
Which provides peer mentoring, group mentoring, and various coaching opportunities for our mid-level female employees.
Because the female employees deserve to have specialized extra training because I don't want to descend into some implicative stereotypes that you're giving off there with that. Okay.
We believe this will help us both attract and retain in a historically underrepresented group.
Historically underrepresented women. 50% of the population of the planet are historically under. Okay.
To identify and elevate high potential women, LGBTQ plus employees.
Oh, how do you propose to identify LGBTQIA plus employees? What protocols do you conduct to determine someone's personal sex life at the workplace? I've always wondered, how does that conversation go in the office? You know, you really want to hit this metric. Boy, oh boy, we need to increase our LGBTQIA plus leadership, workforce, whatever. How does that conversation go to find out from an employee or a potential employee who they like to sleep with or what their personal viewpoints on gender are? I can only imagine how that goes.
People of color, our veterans and employees.
Veterans! I knew it! Okay, are we leading into ERGs? Tell me we're leading into ERGs. You mentioned veterans. There's only one time I ever hear veterans mentioned in DEI programs.
On the neurodiversity spectrum, we've expanded and launched several DE&I focused career development programs. A great example is Conectamos.
Conectamos?
Which promotes and advances Latinx people at all levels across the organization through professional development.
It's just, you know, if I wanted to create a parody DEI promotional video, I don't know that I could do much better than what Moody's is doing right now. Good gravy.
And mentoring. We also have Reignite. A multi-country 16-week paid initiative which helps relaunch careers of mothers and other individuals who have taken a minimum 2-year break from the workforce.
Oh, Reignite? I thought that was a ERG for arsonists or something, but okay.
Reignite helps us increase diverse representation in our employee base, attract top talent, and tackle the challenges of re-entering the workforce with support and mentorship.
Okay, well, as described, at least they said, you know, women that had taken maternity leave or something, and those who have left work for a year or more. Okay, you know, that one all by itself, I don't have a problem with that. Sure. Okay, get somebody re-upped back into shape with things. All right, fine.
Another important achievement are our 8 business resource groups.
Yes. Oh, tell me about your veterans BRG. They're not ERGs, but they're BRGs. They're Bergs. Tell me about your Bergs. Tell me there's a veteran Berg. Is there a veteran Berg? That sounds like a town on the East Coast during like the Civil War or something. The Battle of Veteransburg.
in 40 countries all across the globe.
Great.
Also known as BRGs. Mm-hmm. We have BRGs for women, multicultural employees, our LGBTQ plus employees, veterans, and so on.
And so on. All right, here we go. Moody's women, Moody's multicultural, what the hell that's supposed to mean? Okay, Moody's Pride, Moody's Veterans, Moody's Minds, Moody's Generational, not quite sure what that means, Moody's Enable, and Moody's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Great. That's great. And out of all of them, which one actually reflects something of personal merit? That's right. Moody's Veterans. Everything else? Nothing. You're a woman. You come from a culture. You like to sleep with certain people, I guess. You have a mind of some kind. You're generational. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Is that for like old people or something? I don't know. Or you have a disability. Great. That's great. And or your DEI, advocate or something. Oh man, this is hitting all the branches on the way down. This makes me so happy.
But what's really, truly special about the BRGs is that they are employee-led groups which provide informal leadership and network opportunities.
Informal leadership. Okay. Again, you have in-house clubs based primarily around race, gender, or orientation, or age, I guess, or disability and neurodiversity, right? Which just splits people up, and they're operating on company time with company branding, furthering the company image. Anything that they do within those groups is furthering the company's interests. Is anybody in those groups being paid for their time within those groups, leading them, participating, or otherwise? If they do any kind of extracurricular activities and promoting something or whatever else, are they being paid overtime for that? And why, again, why is any of this, especially someone's sexuality, why is any of that somebody's business at the workplace in the first place? Right? I just that part I just don't get. Like I said, the veterans one is the one that I can't immediately dismiss. Yeah, it's the one thing that always feels like such a piece of insulative material for these programs. At the same time, though, if they're actually providing some kind of service to veterans and getting them connected with medical needs or mental health needs or anything other family support stuff, great. Can't complain about that. Wouldn't. Everything else doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
They also empower employees to effect change for the entire firm.
How? What? I mean, he may or may not say, I don't know. What change has come to the entire firm out of one of the BRGs? I mean, is it like some kind of Senate within the company as to how to handle DEI initiatives or something? Are leaders of these groups empowered in some way to send official treatises or something off to management? I mean, what do you mean?
As a direct result from the efforts of the BRG groups, Moody's granted all U.S. employees access to parental leave.
Moody's granted all U.S. employees access to parental leave. Okay. This is where my, assumptions about certain things and my knowledge completely drop off. What are the current established laws around parental leave? Are there any in the U.S.? I think I've heard before that there aren't any or aren't any requirements, but I don't know. I thought there was like a Family and Medical Leave Act or something like that, FMLA. I don't know what the extent of that goes for a company or otherwise, but okay. Moody's granted all U.S. employees access to parental leave. So that came about directly from the BRGs. Which one or ones? What does parental leave have to do with any of the BRGs listed. That just seems like a common thing for people, regardless of what category you fall into. But okay.
Enhanced our U.S. military leave program.
Okay, that's the one thing that I can't really argue with. Of course, I can't really argue with the parental leave one either, but okay.
By covering full pay for the first 6 months of deployment for our active military employees.
Okay.
And also implemented a student loan payoff program through which Moody's makes financial contributions toward the principal balance of student loan payments for certain employees.
For certain employees. Okay, I'd love to know what the conditions are on that. None of those things, save for the veterans one, had anything to do with the categories you had set up for any of the BRGs. That's all sort of neutral stuff that could affect anybody, regardless of their background or diversity quotient. So what does that have to do with any of the BRGs? Again, save for the veterans one. Now, thank you, Kiefer Dam. The U.S. is the only developed country without any mandated parental leave with pay for fathers and mothers. Okay. I thought I knew that for sure, but then in my mind, I'm thinking, what is FMLA? Because there is something. There's Family Medical Leave Act, right? But then again, like I say, I just know the term. I don't know if it actually ever got implemented or what it does, because I don't have a family. So I've never had to ask those questions before in any meaningful way. So there you go. Okay. So the BRGs produce change in the company that affects everybody, regardless of their particular category, save for veterans, which is a special situation anyway, but okay.
I am a first-generation immigrant from Hong Kong.
Okay.
And have a cultural upbringing which can be different from many of my colleagues.
Yes. You know, and here's the thing. There were people in my neighborhood growing up that had different cultural upbringings than everybody else in the neighborhood, because like the family down the street, whose last name I won't say, but they were Polish. You know, another family up the street, they were from, oh God, where was it? It's not that I'm blanking so much, I don't want to get it wrong. They were from Sweden. That's what it was. So,
looking back on my 17-year tenure at Moody's, I feel very fortunate to be part of this organization.
I'm happy for you.
It sees beyond service and focus on who its employees are and who we can be.
No, they don't seem to care so much about who they are. They care about what they are. Did you guys even look at your goals? What are your goals? It's not 50% of skilled workers in this field by 2025. It's 50% women. It's 30% this. It's 20% that. The who doesn't matter. That's not the priority. That's not the goal. That's not the thing you guys are holding yourselves accountable for. So this is one of those instances where, unfortunately, our speaker here is a weightless example for what this video is about.
At Moody's, I'm encouraged to be my authentic self and to strive to be my best.
Okay.
It's energizing to know that I have a voice, my view matters, and I can make an impact.
I'm glad that you can. Unfortunately, your company is setting racial and gender quotas for hiring. So whatever other good is occurring at the company, the core initiatives that are being promoted in this video are rotten.
As a member of the Asian Leadership Initiative BRG.
Asian Leadership Initiative BRG, that wasn't listed. They didn't put that up on the screen. Okay, so there's an Asian Initiative Leadership BRG, all right?
I have been able to meet and network with people across the company who share similar background and life experiences.
Just because they're Asian? If you say so.
Just as importantly, I've had opportunities to connect with colleagues of very different background.
Were you self-precluding from connecting with other employees because of their race based on your leadership position? And if so, why? And if not, why have an Asian leadership BRG? Why not just have a leadership BRG? Why differentiate on the basis of someone's ethnicity or race?
To show how we stand together as one Moody's for the inclusion and equitable treatment of all people.
You're the leader of the Asian Leadership Initiative, and you say Moody's is all about inclusion and equitable treatment. No. These things do not match one to another. I'm sorry. I know that maybe whatever you're doing is very beneficial to the people that you're offering it to, but you can't have it both ways. Either you take out the elements that are non-determinative of someone's ability, skill, or ambition, and just have a leadership program writ large that anyone has access to, or you are the leader of a racial and or ethnic specific initiative that ignores everybody that falls outside of it. Which is it? Oh, man.
During the pandemic, and in the face of violence against the Asian American and Pacific Islander community, our BRGs work together to raise awareness and to create opportunities for education, solidarity, and healing.
Education, solidarity, and healing. Okay, in what way? I'd be surprised if he says, but in what way? What effect did it have? What education did you provide? What are you talking about?
And to make the point that bias in all forms, conscious or unconscious against one community, is an injustice to us all.
Okay, and so by having an Asian Leadership Initiative BRG, you weren't biased in favor of or against anyone else in the company. I just want to ask again, then why have a Asian Leadership Initiative BRG? Okay.
One of the most rewarding experiences I had was representing Moody's in my community and carrying this message to young people.
In your community? Okay. All right.
Some colleagues and I had the opportunity to speak at the Asian Leadership Panel at the University Neighborhood High School, right here in New York.
Oh, you're in New York? Oh, yeah. I guess Moody's would be, yeah, Wall Street and everything. Yeah, okay.
The event was part of the school's Lunar New Year celebration in support for the North Asian student community, who make up approximately 40% of the student body.
Again, sounds awfully exclusionary.
I was able to share my life experiences, including ways on how I balance Asian American traditions.
Okay.
I was also able to reflect on my career at Moody's and let the student know they too can thrive in a truly diverse and inclusive workplace like ours.
I mean, so long as they're either a female or Latinx or... Come on. They didn't even put your BRG on the list on this promotional video. Okay.
When looking at the level of investment Moody's put into its DE&I commitments,
yes,
and the active role our leaders take in making them a priority, it's clear that inclusion is core to who we are as a company.
Nonsense. Not by what's in this video. It's about divide and exclude. Right? The D in DEI for this company might as well just be divide. Right? Divide, exclude, and I don't know how hyperbolic do I want to get here. Indoctrinate, maybe? I don't know. But it's not about diversity. It's not about inclusion. It's not about equity. The title you carry in the BRG you head up says a lot. And the contradiction, the hypocrisy doesn't seem to occur, which is remarkable.
I'm proud to be part of this journey to build a culture where everyone can be comfortable, supported, and encouraged to thrive.
Unless you're not Asian, then your leadership opportunities are diminished, right? Your networking opportunities to get leadership positions is down. Oh, for crying out loud.
A community where everyone feels they belong. A better world for all of us.
Yeah, okay.
I should add that we're looking to have an even broader impact by pushing beyond the goals we've set.
Oh, you want to get beyond your minimum percentage demographic quotas. All right. Well, I mean, shoot for the stars.
For example, we've committed to empowering women across our supply chain.
So you're sexist, okay?
By pledging a portion of our procurement budget toward integrating women-owned businesses.
Oh, so you're also sexist towards your partnerships, okay?
Into our supplier diversity program.
Mm-hmm. Oh, supplier diversity program. Okay, I guess you would have to have one of those too, okay.
And all of these efforts have also been critical in defining how our workplace will continue to evolve.
I can imagine.
Like other firms around the world,
everybody else is doing it too. Is that the argument?
Moody's recognizes that the pandemic and even the post-pandemic era has underscored that business as usual can no longer be the norm.
That's nonsense. Basically, it's not that it can no longer be the norm. All it did was force it. You see, if there is a minor, depending on how you look at it, silver lining to the pandemic, and I can at least say this from my own, the company I work for's perspective. Up until we were forced into a situation where we had to try to figure out how we can still operate while we were not allowed to congregate, we discovered, mainly by force majeure, even though I'm using that term incorrectly, that we could. That ultimately, nearly everything we did individually or as a team could take place remotely. And I mean, it was a unwelcome revelation, but it led to a whole bunch of changes and a whole bunch of decisions that ultimately, I think, helped improve the company's efficiency. And certainly in some financial situations where we weren't having to lease out giant office space for everybody and everything else. And now we can just have a small office for, communications or organization or something. But otherwise, we didn't have to have everybody with a desk and a cubicle and all this stuff. So the amount of money we spend on leasing space has gone down significantly, which is a help. Transportation for everybody, mental bandwidth for different things. That's the pluses of it. But not every business can operate that way. We just happen to be lucky that we were able to operate during the pandemic and not violate any of the rules. So I don't know. I think different companies were forced to find out how they could operate without having to be in the same space. And those revelations were interesting. And some are trying to turn the clock back. But yeah, no, it's tough. It's tough to turn the clock back. I'll give you that. But a lot of the major stuff still operates the same way because it has to. But anyway. It was a wake-up call. It was a cold bucket of water. So I guess after thinking about it for a second, maybe she's right.
Our teams globally have delivered impressive results during the pandemic.
Such as?
But we have missed the intangible benefits that come with working in person. Like the sense of community and natural opportunities to maintain and enhance our culture.
Again, I guess it depends company to company and otherwise. I suppose that if I was coming into my company brand new, I guess maybe I'd miss that or feel a sense of disconnection. But I've been with my company for like 15 years now, and only the last 2.5 of those have been spent apart. I guess almost 3 years now. And so I don't know, maybe I just, old habits die hard or something.
We're implementing a global hybrid working model designed to help our people reestablish and strengthen relationships.
So you have to come into the office, a couple days out of the month kind of thing?
across our company and with our customers, while also providing them with more work flexibility.
Okay.
We believe our consistent willingness to take employees' needs into account, along with those of our business, will help us appeal to a wider talent pool and reduce office space.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And a lot of the office space places, the places leasing that space, boy, oh boy, they got hit hard because as soon as a bunch of businesses realized they didn't need to rent out office space, you have a veritable wasteland of empty buildings all over the place. But I guess that was just unavoidable. Yeah, okay, great. This says, what does this have to do with DEI? Unless this is intimating the whole A in one of the new DEI arrangements, DEIA, which is accessibility.
Employee commuting time and travel obligations in the long term. We believe that what we're doing to evolve our workplace and how we're doing it by always putting people first.
As long as they fall within the correct gender or racial demographics, obviously.
Will help us attract and retain best-in-class talent.
Best in class, assessed on what elements? And I'm not wanting to ask that question. You're forcing me to ask that question.
Don't just take our word for it.
Oh, I will take your word for it because your word is your bond.
Moody's has also been recognized for leadership and commitment to DE&I by several reputable organizations and outlets in 2021.
Oh, so there are other people involved in underpinning this entire agenda of quotas. All right, who else? You going to tell us?
Diversity Inc. named us as a top 50 company for diversity and ranked us as a top 3 LGBTQ company.
What, Diversity Inc.? What? How have I never heard this before? Diversity Inc. Ercole DeStefano, 2021 is old news. Well, this video is from March of 2022. So it wasn't that old news when it was coming out. Diversity Inc. Oh man. 7 years doing this. How have I not heard of Diversity Incorporated? We're Diversity Incorporated. D-I-E. Yeah, Diversity Incorporated. Anybody know what I'm parodying there? A little bit. Whoa, looks like we made it. We're Diversity Incorporated. Whoa. Anybody know? If anybody knows, you're like old. You're old like me.
Moody's was recognized as one of the best companies for women and working mothers in India and the United States by Working Mother and Avtar.
Working Mother and Avtar? Avtar, the power of... Avtar sounds like an evil wizard in an 80s children's cartoon, but okay. Avtar. Okay, Diversity Incorporated. Beaver Dam, got it. Kids Incorporated. It's Kids Incorporated. K-I-D-S. Yeah, Kids Incorporated. Yeah, okay. I'm getting far too excited here. I just found out about Avtar and Diversity Incorporated. Oh man, I see some Sunday streams coming up here. I got to find some Diversity Incorporated promotional videos.
We were named a best place to work for LGBT equality on the Human Rights Campaign's Corporate Equality Index.
Wow.
Also, Moody's was awarded gold in the Employer Recognition Scheme by the National Employer Recognition Board.
Dang, that's a lot of official compliments about your Confess Diversity program. So it's something you're proud of and been recognized by other organizations and encouraged by other organizations to continue doing. That's great. Makes it really hard to run away from if somebody asks any questions about the legality of these things.
This was on behalf of the Ministry of Defense for our support of the armed forces community in the United Kingdom.
In the United Kingdom. Okay, I mean, you're a global company. All right, nothing for the U.S. or anything? Okay.
With so many points of pride progress, and new priorities that
progress. You think gender and racial discrimination in the workplace is progress? I mean, all right. However you want to feel about it.
Continue to unfold.
Yeah.
We could talk about this subject for hours.
I kind of wish you would. I'd love to know the nitty-gritty of it all.
But I'll leave you with this.
Okay.
What makes me so incredibly proud are the continued efforts I have witnessed at Moody's in this area.
Oh, okay.
The overwhelmingly positive employee feedback about our DE&I efforts, and the solid commitment from the highest levels of our organization to making additional strides.
If anybody opposed your DE&I initiatives, how long would they remain at the company, do you think? Either of their own volition or your discretion?
These are strong signals that we recognize DE&I as critical to our continued growth and our evolution as a company.
Okay, and there you go. That is it. Decode risk, unlock opportunity at Moody's. Like I say, I am cynically, sardonically, whatever other ardonicallys you want to put on it, glad that these videos exist, that they're out there, that they are documented, that I can use my platform to elevate the voices of DEI initiatives to the world, and also in a minor way have a backup of examples. I guess that's kind of what I've started thinking of my channel as now in some way, shape, or form, if only for entertainment purposes, to have an archive of examples of things that are becoming more and more questionable legally as time goes on, even though they've always been legally questionable. Certainly now is the time where companies are reconsidering exactly how much and to what extent and in what way they want to maintain their DEI initiatives. And on the off chance that some of these examples end up into the digital waste bin of history and scrubbed from existence at some point, well, I'm happy to be a bit of a bard, just sort of singing along as they go. But before I start, I guess I can start winding things down. Do I have anything else? I got videos galore. Chicago Mike, is it Moody's or Dunder Mifflin? Well, corporate needs you to identify the difference between these two companies. They're the same company. Thank you, Chicago Mike. Let's see. Am I done? Do I have anything else? Let me check my little video archive here. No. I had thought about going over the whole Linus Tech Tips thing. This is completely outside of my usual wheelhouse, but I find the whole thing fascinating as an example of how not to PR in a crisis. That whole thing would probably take a lot more time for explanation and description of things, because it's really niche. You got anybody in the chat know about the whole Linus Tech Tips Gamers Nexus controversy over the last week or so? I guess it's only been about 3 or 4 days, actually, but still, I find it fascinating. If you guys don't know, Linus Tech Tips has been one of the longest living YouTube channels and has like a zillion subscribers and everything. And mostly it's about, looking at computer parts and evaluating things and computer builds and computer stuff and computer this, computer that. I'm simplifying it, but there you go. And over the years, it's become a gigantic network of channels and services and a big corporate, $100 million corporation at this point or something. And they started doing, in recent months, I guess, videos that were doing very detailed measurement testing of computer components and parts and systems and everything, which is a subgenre on YouTube of very technically detailed oriented, really like high-end testing methodology for looking at graphics cards and CPUs and everything else. And they were making a slew of just ridiculous mistakes and flubs and everything and all. And Gamers Nexus, a completely different YouTube channel, kind of collected a bunch of these examples and kind of showed that this channel is harming consumers and also doing some very unethical things and all this. And the fallout from this expose for this giant YouTube network super company has been entertaining as all heck. That's all I got to say. If you're curious about it, just even if you're not a computer-like person, just the sort of like corporate soap opera of it all is just interesting in and of itself. So if you're curious, look up Gamers Nexus on YouTube and check out the video they put up a few days ago called, like, I think it's called like The Problem with LMG, which is Linus Media Group. It's a relatively long video, but it is very interesting. And their follow-up video and how the LMG company has responded to it, and especially their official response video from the other day. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Chicago Mike, again. I can't tell the difference between Dunder Mifflin, Initech, or Moody's. Oh, Initech. Oh, Initech. Texas Attorney General. Yeah, start with the Gamers Nexus video from earlier. Yeah. The Gamers Nexus, if you ever decide to invest in a computer or computer part or anything else, do yourself a favor and first look up on Gamers Nexus the name of the part, the name of the computer, whatever else, because more likely than not, they've reviewed, checked out, or deconstructed something relevant to that at some point in the past. You might find out something interesting. But man, anyway, yeah, I was thinking about doing that, but that's a whole other kettle of fish. Do I have anything else that's interesting I could do real quick? Oh, I do have one thing. Hold on. I know this is kind of a messy stream, but I came across this a few days ago, and it's only like a minute and a half long or something. It's a segment from a larger video. Let me pull this up here. 1 second. I haven't prepped this for sound, so I can't tell you off the top of my head if it's going to come through well. I guess we'll find out. 1 second here. Let's see. So there was a channel on YouTube that was giving out advice about how to handle college applications after the Supreme Court decision on affirmative action. And I found this really interesting. I only listened to the first few seconds, so I guess technically it's mostly new to me. But this guy's giving advice on what you should do now that affirmative action has been abolished. If you're applying for college that might either have implemented affirmative action previously or still cares about it. And here's the advice, and I want to predicate this. He's not wrong, okay? The advice that he's going to give here, he's right. He's right, but it's unfortunate that he's right. And I hope that comes through. So here we go.
And I almost think that majority applicants that in years past, like it was pretty much impossible for them to play the diversity game because like if you're Asian or white, you're not ethnically diverse in this conversation. Now, if you have a different perspective or tone, that might move the needle in a way that it hadn't before, you know? So I think there's definitely, and even for your Black and Hispanic students, I actually think,
yes. I just want to pause there for a second for the sake of not letting it run too long. Right. You're not ethnically diverse if you're white or Asian in this conversation. But here's the thing, again, as far as the colleges were concerned, when affirmative action was running, and still now, let's be honest, that is true as far as they are concerned.
I mean, obviously, if you were just being identified as Black and Hispanic, there's value to that. But remember, all the Black and all the Hispanic students were identified that way, right? Now, if you're a Black student or a Hispanic student who is aware that you're not being identified that way and then is intentional in your thought process about how to identify yourself through the types of ways we're talking about.
And I believe he's referring to things like your cover letter or your diversity statement, if that's still a thing or not. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if diversity statements will survive, at least as far as that term is. They might change the wording on that. But yes, you cannot any longer identify in the application explicitly your race, and the college cannot ask you your race, but you can find ways to volunteer that information otherwise, right?
I think you actually have a better shot, as a Black or Hispanic student, because it's going to be harder for them to identify who those people are. And if you do it well, you're going to get in. So, the more complex and the more ambiguity, the better for us, generally speaking, because the colleges thus are not because the people don't understand, but the colleges are going to have to be more
careful, more non-specific, more covert,
quantitative in their filtering process.
I like it. Quantitative in their filtering process. And again, I just want to emphasize, he's not wrong. Okay, he's being absolutely accurate, because as you may recall in the articles and the videos I looked at, both leading up to and after the affirmative action decision, specifically in the example of California, and how the colleges in California have had to operate since affirmative action was voted down in 1996. Yes, the colleges will look for anything they possibly can grab onto to determine and or categorize the racial makeup of a potential student as they can without explicitly asking for that information. So and here's the thing, if you're a potential college student and you're trying to find some advantage in your application by applying to one college versus another, and that while they can't ask you your race, they're still looking to buffer their numbers for this ideological crusade that they're on to filter everybody on the basis of race. Is it wrong to rely on that and roll the dice that somehow indicating through a story you put into your cover letter or some other element of the application process, if you indicate to the college your racial demographic and it gives you an advantage because the college is operating like that, is it wrong to do that as an applicant? Is it wrong for the colleges to use that filtering, that quantitative filtering? I think so, but they're going to do it anyway. So is it wrong? On a principle level, yes. Pragmatically speaking, yeah. So like I say, our speaker here, he's not wrong. I'm just very, very disappointed still that he's not wrong.
And it's quantitative through qualitative content.
Yes, quantitative, quantity, not quality. Quality is at best a secondary consideration here. Come on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what
you
mean.
So it's like I'm going to read an essay and there's certain things I'm going to be looking for, and the universities aren't going to write down what they're looking for, and the readers probably don't even know what they're looking for until they read 50 of these essays. But 50 essays in, right, they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, I've heard this already. That's a unique perspective, or there's more depth in this type of story." And I think that we'll win those more often than we did in the past.
I mean, I hope that becomes the standard, right? I hope that becomes the standard. But at the same time, our speaker is sort of, saying, hey, if you have a way to communicate to the college applications process your race, and it's a race that is more advantageous to be, then yeah, it probably makes sense to do so. Unfortunate, but true. Unfortunate, but true. Anyway, I think I'll wrap up here because I really don't have anything else prepared or ready. Or I have just an absolute library of TEDx's, but I reserve those for Thursdays. Maybe someday I'll do some kind of another TEDx extravaganza or something. Do like 3 in a row or a binge watch or something. Maybe if I can turn that into some kind of charity stream for somebody or something like that. But not tonight. I think I'll wrap it up here. A couple of comments from you guys before I go here. Peter? Wait, I've just been blind this whole time. Is that Peter Silac Hades 313? Is that the Peter? I mean, there are several Peters out there. I know, but I just want to check. Is that Peter Silac Hades 313? Because there's really only one sort of burned into my memory. If that's not you, I apologize, new Peter. But there's at least one longtime legend. Just Peter. Okay, just Peter. Well, hey, just Peter. Sorry. There was a audience member from long time ago who I haven't seen in a long time, obviously. And so I was thinking for a second, is that Peter Silac Hades 313? Just want to make sure. But welcome. If I haven't already said hello before, and I'm just completely spacing on that. Let's see. Anything else from anybody else? Texture General Secret Agent. Start with Gamers Nexus video from release. Yes. Start with the Gamers Nexus video. It's really interesting stuff. Even if you're not into technical stuff and everything else, again, the principled ethical drama of the whole deal is just fascinating. And then after you've watched the Gamers Nexus videos, because there was the main one and then there was a follow-up the next day, really take a look at the official response from Linus Media Group. It is an exercise in the worst advised PR strategy. Well, maybe not the worst, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Anything else before I go? Yes, thank you, Kiefer Dam, for the Gamers Nexus link there. There was an Aussie Peter around a while back, but I haven't seen around. I think Peter Silac Hades 313 was Australian, so that might be it. There's only so many Peters I see named on here, so I just wanted to make sure. Fatoni 42, LTT stole someone's prototype. That sure is the thing. They got loaned a prototype from a small company. They then demonstrated it on their channel incorrectly and then called the product garbage, even though they did not use it properly. And then they took that prototype, that expensive prototype from a small startup company, and they auctioned it off without the company's consent. And now it's disappeared. Imagine if a competitor got their hands on that and reverse engineered it. Anyway, I'll leave that for that. Everybody, thank you so much for joining me for this ambush stream on a Friday night. Hope I didn't step on anybody's toes elsewise. I checked ahead of time. Hopefully not. If you'd like to hear more from me, well, you can find me here Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern for the Sunday stream, where I'll talk about a thing. And I'm going to make a concerted effort that whatever thing I talk about has nothing to do with DEI. I want to start splitting it up a little bit. And then later on Sunday evening at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, you can find me here again with my friend Leonora as we begin our reading of The Vampire Lestat on Book Review of the Vampire. So if you're interested in that, Leonora and I are reading The Vampire Lestat after having finished the interview with the vampire. And we are reading up through the end of the first section, which is like something called The Adventures of Lestat, etc. So if you want to read along with us, it's about 70 pages or so into the book. And yeah, but with that, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things. Even though everyone here is so well behaved, you have very, very little to do. Everybody who donated either to myself or to the fundraisers at the top of the chat box, thank you guys so much for your generosity. I hope you all have a good rest of your Friday evening. I hope you have a good weekend ahead of you. I hope you're staying cool if it's hot. I hope you're staying warm if it's cool. I hope you're all safe and well. If you are not well, please get well soon, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.